of you all have heard the voice here a second ago, just kind of chiming in a little bit, but we want to make this introduction formal. So while we were having these wonderful conversations about the Kaz and his downfall, our guest for the
what a
evening
heated moment to walk in.
No, right? And so this artist was first brought to my attention through one of my co-hosts here, T-Rex the Beast One, and was like, yo, this one of the guys who I sent you some music from, like, wants to come on and check out the show. So now some of the artists, like, cause he sent me music from a lot of different artists, and some of them, as soon as I hear the track, I'm like, but I'm probably not gonna play it more than once, unless I get this artist up here. And then some of them just like, I don't know where I'm gonna fit this in, so it probably won't get played for a while. But I came across this one joint, and when he told me who it was, I was like, I heard that song. I don't think it was a bad one. So I went back and I played it again. I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm digging this. And so, like, well, send me his info. So, I go and I check out, the Instagram, and then I check out the SoundCloud just to see what's out there and see if I could vibe with it. And by no stretch of the imagination am I, like, only going to bring up artists here that I like, because quite frankly, some of the folks that I've had up here, I'm not that fond of. But not everything is my cup of tea, and there's a bunch of people out there in the world who I think need to hear from a lot of these artists. Well, the music that I heard from this dude, like, some of them was like, all right, I can rock with this. And some of them was like, I don't need it. But I definitely want to sit down and kind of chat with this young man. And of course, I know one of the big things that he's got coming up now, A3C, voting is open right now, but Hunnid is in the building, man. What's going on, man?
Hunnid, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. How about yourself, man? How you living?
Man, we holding on in here, just talking about people doing regular stuff and getting locked up and they get
yeah, man, I couldn't even slide in that conversation. Y'all was going to do Cosby dirty, man. I was just,
Yo, I mean,
for real. Look, just listen for a little bit.
I'm like, I will.
What's your favorite Bill Cosby movie?
Yeah. Man.
Actually, that's a good one. I don't know.
Let's
do it again, Uptown Saturday Night. Like, I mean, Ghost Dad was an awesome film.
Yeah.
No.
I saw Ghost Dad in North Carolina. It was like the first time I ever went to the South. Yeah. And I was like, what is going on down here? And we were gonna go see Cool World, which is the cartoon movie where Brad Pitt wants to have sex with the cartoon.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Have you recently seen that again?
And my Christian loving aunt was like, absolutely not. Okay, what else is playing? Oh, Bill Cosby plays a ghost? How about yes? You got sent to see that instead.
Well, anyway, so we're not gonna drag you back into that.
I'm the biggest Bill Cosby fan, but he did a lot for the black culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's Hollywood. So.
And again, like I said, I'm not going to take away any of that.
Exactly.
But those victims, I will say, I be trying not to.
I mean,
I'm trying not to say something. Y'all keep trying to drag me back, and I'm trying to talk to this man about some music.
Even Mel Gibson.
We gonna.
Even Mel Gibson, he gave you Lethal Weapon, but he talked that crap. And
he did. Yeah, he did. And I love Lethal Weapon, but it's hard for me. I can't look at those the same anymore. Right. Even though I can sit back and watch it still. I can't look at it the same.
But the same people that are like, we can Harvey Weinstein has to get out of here. They will sit with Mel Gibson at the Oscars and act like he's fine because they didn't say anything about that.
When Mel Gibson made The Passion of the Christ, I knew something was going left with that brother.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but that's how he's getting back in director's chair. Speaking of productions,
right? Speaking of productions,
so Hunnid, Hunnid CCG, man. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what this CCG means. So, man, why don't you break this down for me, man? What is CCG?
I mean, but before I break it down, man, I want a nice hypothesis from you, man. What you think of me? What do you
think of you?
No, what do you think CCG means?
What do I think CCG means?
I mean, you took a little glance at the brand and listened to a couple of songs. So I just want to see what you think before I get into
I gotta be honest, man. The first one I heard, of course, was the single, which was Money Up. And then I go to the SoundCloud, and actually I just went through again today. Yeah. And one of the first things that I popped through, because I'm like, I don't know where to start. Yeah. So I always like to go back to the beginning. The first thing that I see, the earliest one, is something called Trap Conscious. And so, so I was just like, and then I was listening to that and just like, man, what is? So I will say, first of all, you come a long way. Oh. And then secondly,
definitely.
let's see. cold conscious gangsters. Let's go there.
That's decent.
We're gonna take it there.
That's
but
decent. That ain't too bad. Yeah.
Right,
But what it means is committed to camaraderie and growth. You know, and
Exactly.
that's a brotherhood, man. It transcends outside of music. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you know, you're gonna be committed to camaraderie. That's loyalty, and everybody wants to grow. You know what I'm saying? So, those two principles like I live by and will stick with me forever. And the same for my brothers who I'm associated with. So that's CCG.
Loyalty and growth, man.
How do we
That's
spell
deep.
it for people that want to look it up on SoundCloud?
Hunnid?
Yeah.
Oh, Hunnid. Hunnid.
For those of you
Hunnid.
who are looking, it will be the photo, the cartoon photo.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
You know, so
In the hoodie.
so let me ask you this, because like one of the things we like to do when we're here on the show talking to the musicians is find out, first of all, the music that you grew up listening to.
Oh man, yeah, we about that. Okay, I like y'all already. Oh man. So I'm a Tupac, Big L,
Nice.
Missy when she was in her prime. Even Uncle Luke.
Of course.
You know that was kind of I was real young. You know, my grandma was playing like James Brown. Man, who else? It's so many. Jay-Z, DMX.
Gotcha.
Just paint a little picture, man. I gotta go way back, but it's Moesha.
Word.
What
He
was
said
it?
Moesha.
Monica.
Yeah.
When, you know when they was hot.
Yeah.
I'm going into the vault right now because it was.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day, it was going down, man. Lil Kim. You know, but those are some artists.
A lot of classics, a lot of heavy hitters in that.
Definitely.
At what age and at what point did you say like, yo, music is something that I want to get into?
See, for me, I was always a poet. So it's like I feel like those two things go hand in hand. But
So let's start there. Like even as far back as poetry, like at what point did you start to put the pen and the word together?
Oh man, 6 maybe. Like
Okay.
yeah, maybe a little earlier than that.
Sorry, my co-host.
I'm
trying to find
trying to
music.
select your page without.
See, look,
having some difficulties over there.
right. Technical difficulties. My apologies. But yeah.
But yeah, where were we at?
So we're talking about the poetry and around
Oh
6.
yeah. Probably around like 6, maybe a little earlier, because I know my first poem was like published at like 9 or something like that.
Okay,
9
wow.
or something. Yeah.
Like,
So,
like at your school, or was this like?
oh no, this was like a legitimate company.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It just stuck with me. Just something about, you know, the manipulation of words and painting your own picture. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just I love that type of stuff.
So yeah, so I mean, I can dig like the written word aspect of it, because like you say, like words and finding different ways to kind of move in and out of those is dope.
Yeah.
At what point though did you say, you know what, I want to try to take this to the stage? Because I love the early roots and all of this, and I know a lot of us, when we're young, we start to singing and rapping and all with the records around the house. At what point did you say, you know what, I'm going to take what I'm writing and I'm going to take it and try to give it to the people?
High school, definitely, man. It was maybe like sophomore year.
Okay.
We was on the Calypso side back then. People was being on the lunch tables and
Yeah.
just cranking out
Everybody
freestyles.
was grinding.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
already know.
Oh yeah.
Boom, 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 you know what I'm saying? Just started freestyling from there, and people took a liking to what I was saying, and I was like, you know what, okay. And I was already intrigued by the words, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the next step was just like, let me hop in the booth, let me, get my dial-on on, spit some hot fire. You feel me? But I
And
say,
for those of you who are wondering, Dylan is still the hottest.
still,
All right,
Yeah.
he's still top 5.
facts.
All right.
But yeah, so about like 16 to 17, man, went out and bought my own equipment, and I ain't looked back since, man.
Word, that's what's up. When you talk about those earlier years, and you're from Southside?
Yep.
Southside of Chicago, in them early years, and you take it to, you know what, I'm gonna do this myself. Was there a team of folks with you? Like, who were those people in your corner, like saying, like, this is something I believe in? Like, Because, you know, I think a lot of us when we start, like, you know, we have that belief in ourselves, but it's once other people start to tell us, like, this is what it is, that we really start to feel it a little bit more. So, who were some of those folks that were with you in them early years, kind of crafting and helping you out with that?
Man, I would have to go back. Shout out Fly Guy Mike. He was rocking with me on the music. He in Texas right now, but he was one of the early adopters. Shout out my cuz Streets, man. He was one of the early adopters. Shout out Moms, man. For me, it was really, I'm not even gonna lie, like to keep it 100, I wasn't really looking for like validation. I wasn't like, you know, looking to see who was rocking with me. I was just more so concerned with like, this is what I'm gonna do and I'm gonna do it. You know, so I didn't have a lens on who was rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? As far as like who was really on the side of me, like validating, like, oh man, this is dope, you know. But those are some good people responsible for a lot, man. My mom really, she been in my corner since day one. And I mean, she getting people to vote right now for your boy. You know what I'm saying? For the A3C. So shout out Moms.
Is there anybody in the early years trying to talk you out of doing this, or trying to get you to do something else?
Well, see, the thing was, man, the music was on a back burner for a little bit because, like, I was balling like crazy, you know. So, like, I went to
I'm gonna say, when you say balling, what kind of balling are you talking about?
Basketball, man. I wasn't playing no golf, no rugby, and nothing like that. you know, but I can get busy in those too. So, for everybody listening, my miniature golf game is crazy. But yeah, man, I went to UIU, Upper Iowa University. It's a D2 school. Played ball out there. Things didn't go, you know, as planned. So I transferred to Millikan University, balled out there, you know. So it was like I was still doing music, but it wasn't my primary focus. You get what I'm saying? Other things like balling and getting that degree and stuff like that. So
did you get it?
You said what?
Did you get it?
Did I get it?
Did you
think my mama still be voting for me?
That's what I want to know. Cause like, you know, parents always tell you like they're gonna support you, but there's always, I can't say always, but sometimes they're like, look, I'm gonna support you as long as you over here and you do what you're supposed to do. So,
exactly.
So you did go out, you got that degree. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You gotta have some foundation. You know, like people don't paint the entire story. You know, they tell you to go, you can do anything you put your mind to. False. They don't tell you, you know, like, okay, if you're gonna go do this, make sure you know this, this, and this. You feel me? So for me, had to go get that foundation, make sure that if it doesn't work out, but it's going to, you know, but just in case it doesn't, I have those, you know, that foundation set in place.
Word. Yeah. I mean, you got to look on the bright side of that too, man. If balling had worked out, man, you might be out here making records like Kobe.
Boy.
Man, we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, that was. He had that joint with Montel, wasn't it? Montel.
Yo, he did the joint with Montel. Like, I guess I mean some good came out of it. He met his wife on a video shoot. So I mean, but
if you want to look at it that way, that's a plus.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to find the positive in this right now, bro. I mean, I mean, we've had some rappers in the NBA that have just been.
Oh man.
Some of them should have kept it. Honestly, I'd probably say Tony Parker should have kept his, but I didn't understand what he was saying. So I'm gonna let that one ride. You know, Shaq put out a couple of albums. You know, Shaq, because he was so into it, like he was cool. But then some of them boys, you know, you got Iverson with the 40 bars that just went.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out Ivo. He was, you know, he tried to do his thing.
Yeah, he tried.
He tried to do his thing.
He's nice, but there's always that one thing, like when you're in one world and you got into this other world and forgot about that other world, and then it's like, yeah, you said some stuff that's coming back at you now. So you know what I mean? But
facts.
All right, so you got your own equipment. So you're making beats now too, or you have producers that you're working with, like.
I have producers that I'm working with right now. When I first started, which was around like 17 or 18, I was trying to make my own beats. I was producing. I was trying to do everything, you know. But you know, as you grow, you find out quickly that you can't do everything, you know. So I kind of stopped that and just focused on my craft, man.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you focused on the craft. You got your producers and all these folks that you're working with.
Yep.
Where are some of the spots that you've been able to rock and that you've gone to since you started up the music?
Oh man, we can start with Cali. California is just a whole nother vibe, man. They support just all kinds, all genres, man. You know, as long as you're doing your thing and you're passionate about it, they support you. Nothing but good vibes over there. New York. Shout out Queens, specifically Jamaica Queens. I was over there with 50 Cent Old Hood, did a show out there. Interesting, good vibes though.
Were you holding when you went out there? I heard they like to bring artists out there and just.
I mean, I would just say that the security guard looked at my ID. He was like, "Okay, from Chirac, I gotta pat you twice." Yeah. But Texas, man, Texas is nothing but love. Houston, Austin, man, all of that. Where else, man? I mean, that's a good 3, but it's long story short, man. It's taking me all across the world.
Right. So, with most of us in this room being performers and have hit the stage, you know, we all have those good shows that we can look back on and be like, man, that was a great time, and this was a show that will last in my memory. And then we also, on the flip side of that, had those shows where it's like, man, this was the worst show ever. Right. This show will always last in my memory. So, as much as we love to hear about those positive and those great shows, I want to hear about that one that sucked. So, give me one of those stories about one of those times that you went and did a show and it was terrible, but you kind of persisted and moved through it anyway.
Right. With the terrible shows, for me, it's just mostly like technical difficulties on their behalf. So, you know, maybe a speaker going out, or I don't know, the DJ not being able to load the set, or you know, something like that. But for real, no real like terrible situations. No tours, nothing like that. No like real bad stories for real. Like, no super bad stories for real.
Bro, I got some in the vault that I don't even, that we not gonna get too far into.
You have crazy stories.
I mean, you got some crazy stories.
You have international stories that freak me out.
Right.
I mean, the international stories are crazy. Of course, the you know, the stopping the kidnapping in Philly. While out on the road with the Comic-Con, like that's one of my personal favorites. That wasn't necessarily a bad story. Well, I mean, because we stopped it from, you know, taking off with this shit. There was a South by Southwest tour with a hip hop vet who was a whole lot of recklessness while out on the road. So we got some of those stories, but I mean, my audience has heard those stories, so we don't want to get into those now. We can talk about those off the air, but you know, so I often wonder about those. So you know, let me ask you this, man, the name and Hunnid, like how'd you get that name? Like, where'd that name come from?
Well,
and what's it represent for you?
I got the name because I'm originally from out south, and I you know, from a bad neighborhood out of Wild Hunnid, 118th, you know, in 118 we're gonna leave it like that. But I moved up north.
Hey man, why you talk? Dude, I live on 115th, man.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we can shout about this and get you together. All right. But so I moved up north, man. You know how that goes when you're a young kid and being raised in these poverty-stricken environments. You know, my mom wanted me, you know, wanted the best for me, so she moved me up north. And you know, a couple of friends found out that I was from the south side or whatever, and he was like, you know, at first it was 40 Cal, but I mean, obviously that was Dipset, you know, we weren't trying to repeat that, and so it started out as Que4, you know, shout out Derry, you know, for the name, and that stuck with me for some time, but that was like extra long, you know, and so I kind of shortened it when I went to college, and there was 100, and then I was like, you know what, that's still too long, and then about like 4 years ago, we just kept 100, man, and we just been rocking ever since. And for me, what that represents is just authenticity, you being yourself, just being genuine with others, and it just symbolizes where I come from. So,
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Rapid fire. I need 3. Worst rap names you've ever heard.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Call them out. Let's go.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah, so we got one.
We just say a low pump, but what is that?
Okay.
Man, last one. Who else? I know it's another little something out there.
Little anything.
Man, Lil Xan. Yes, Lil Xan. There we go. We got to
Bet, for sure. I still hold tight to, you know, Boys vs. Girl being one of the wackest names I've ever heard. And if you happen to be friends with him, because I see the camera over there going, if you are out there, like, whatever, dude. Your name is Whack. Deal with it.
Free smoke.
I'm staying with it. Like, I don't care. I mean, we've got a bunch more, but you know, I'm probably going through this list so many times. Like, I can name a bunch of names that were just terrible.
Oh man.
Ooh, I got one. I know I'm gonna piss some people off with this one, but no try do. How about that one? Like, I liked, you know, I liked the message in it.
What was it?
No try do.
Oh. Okay.
That was the name. Now, as a message, I get you. Like, don't try, just do. I give you that. As a name, terrible.
Yeah,
I don't care what nobody says.
Number 6 at a sushi bar.
And he was on a whole bunch of pay-for-play stuff that I don't really rock with anyway. So it is what it is. I don't care. Like I've burned some bridges before. Like whatever. But anyway, so we're at that point tonight, man. Before we go, I'm gonna give you some time, and I want you to definitely plug some of the stuff you got coming up. After this, we're gonna get into a quick little music break. When we come back, might toss on a beat. You know what I'm saying? Hit a freestyle or something, and then you know we'll wrap it up after that. But go ahead, like just tell the people something about what you got going on, what you promoting and whatnot.
Oh, definitely, man. If you don't know, Money Up is out on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, etc. Right now, I'm just working harder than ever, man. I got a second single drop in May. It's called Bust That.
All right.
Nice little hip hop, Afro beat, Caribbean vibe to it. I'm switching it up, but still remaining myself. Be in tune for the Gummo remix dropping real soon.
All right.
And be in tune for some more shows. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much, you know, but we got some stuff coming, man. Most definitely.
So real quick though, definitely want the people out there listening to check out the music. I want you to tell everybody about this vote that you got going on, because we definitely want to make sure we get those folks out to support that. So
Definitely. I've been invited by A3C, man, to come out and rock the stage. I just need y'all votes to help solidify my spot. It's a golden opportunity, man, to rock the stage with Lil Wayne, Diplomats. I think I saw Rick Ross, Young and May. It's going to be an epic year down there at A3C. So I need y'all help to vote for Hunnid, man. Find me, look it up, A3C. You vote for Hunnid. Scroll down, sign your email address, and vote for your boy.
all right, so that's what's up. So all of y'all out there, make sure y'all go ahead and make that vote. You know what I'm saying? Try to get some of that Chi-Town representing going on down there in Atlanta.
Do you like traveling?
I do.
Like
you said that like you weren't so sure. So let's before we get into music break now, because now we gotta go there. What do you like about traveling, and what do you dislike about traveling?
I mean, I just love the welcoming, you know, the hospitality. You know, when you're in another place and it's like, oh, I mean, in our city alone, just like, you from Chicago? Oh, you know, here's an extra biscuit. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's a food, whatever, you feel me? So, I just love just seeing different places as well. Like Cali is beautiful, man. You know, stuff that we don't really get to see. Like, I never get tired of seeing the palm tree right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just the beauty of the scenery, and then you know, running into those different people that just like appreciate life, and it's just, you know, I love that.
Gotcha.
What I don't like is just it fatigues you, man. Like your stamina has to be up. You know, those taking the planes and, you know, getting there in the rental cars and all
you
that
feel
stuff.
just a little bit dirty, right? Because you don't get to properly like be anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You only feel a little bit dirty. You
Everything
you
use, you
you
know
come
that
up to
everybody uses every day, all the time. That's just what I think about when I'm traveling. I'm like, oh my god, like there's this weird feeling. It's really fun and it's great to see new places. But after 2 weeks, you just want to be in your own bed.
I travel with a group, man. So you can imagine the funk that's coming out of that. You already know what that is, right?
Yeah,
man.
Shout out to Ray of Light.
Solo, defects.
We'll be getting a nice,
like
angry calls after this.
Man, whatever. They know what it is.
Bell's
like,
been kicked out of the group.
I wish they would. I got all the gear.
Everything.
And the whip. Now what? Run up. Like, they know what it is. Like, nah, I mean, we're road warriors. Like, this is what we do. So we know what it is. But like, oh yeah, man, brothers.
When's the last
And
time,
our show is octane, so we sweat a lot. So yeah, I mean, those rides back to the crib be crazy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to California?
What, last week?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fresh off a show and all types of promo and stuff.
Did
out there.
you let your hair down out there?
I let my hair down.
Did you
Dude ain't got no
partake in the California California?
Did I let it blow in the wind? I mean, if that's what you asking, then of course, yeah, it was a lot of acting. If that's what you asking.
Well, was it like, I know now it's way, not that it was ever really restricted, but now it's way more.
Oh, it was approved recreationally January 1st, 2018.
So like now they have like bars where you can smoke, because before it was like legal, but you couldn't smoke in public,
Right.
and you can't have it on you without having a card and all that. So now it's got to be completely different. It was probably like.
Well, you give them all the, man, it's like a very tight, secured process. You got to give them your ID before you even go inside. Then once you get inside, you give them your ID again. Then they put you in the system, and then you could walk around, decide whatever you want, but you have to tell them what you want.
Okay.
And then they pull it up themselves. So it's not like Aldi's or Kroger where you put this in the bag and you go up there. It's like, no, they're gonna do whatever you want, you know, or whatever you select rather. So it's very secured, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. So
You know what else used to be secure? The Weed Spot Project.
yeah.
Sure. I say everybody's still. We're still living in the not weed friendly place, so that nothing's changed in the.
And for me, that was the oddest part, because I'm kind of coming from the shot. You get caught with this, you go there. It's just like people are just flaming up like on the corner or da da da. It's like crazy.
I come from a place inside of town where some of the cops like to partake themselves, so depending on what you was holding, you might be alright. I mean, I love Flint, but
Man,
you gotta know who you know, man.
Speaking on Flint, man, it gets super serious real quick.
Yeah.
Still don't have water.
Nah, man, we
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Very, and not only is that crazy, but like we talked about this the other week, the governor has now stepped back and said like, oh, everything's fine, so we're stopping the free water dispensaries in the city, and now
giving Nestle free water.
And then giving another company free water in another part of the state, but being like, nah, y'all straight. We cleaned out the pipes a little bit, you alright.
And the thing is, it's not getting any national coverage.
Yo.
At all.
The funny thing about it, at one point they were literally saying it's going to cost $40 million to fix this problem. Then all of a sudden, after like tossing like a couple $100,000 at it, they were like, oh, nope, it's all fixed, we're good.
Yeah.
And that's that. So yeah, shout out to my hometown, and we still don't, you know what I'm saying, everybody's still cooking with bottled water, we're still bathing with bottled water,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and when I say we, I mean, my fam's still there, I'm back there every other month, if not every month, you know what I mean, so we ain't forgot, we ain't gonna let the rest of y'all forget.
Oh, exactly.
Straight up, so.
That's why I wanted to highlight that. It's really sad, broski, like, we focused on Kanye and what Kim K is doing, and it's like, man, there's other things that really matter.
That's a whole nother conversation.
You got him started.
It's not like Bill Cosby took a picture of himself wearing a MAGA hat and then tweeted it out to his millions of followers. Man, you'd have to be really crazy to do something like that. Oh, wait a second.
Or just old.
Wait a second.
But just capitalizing.
Or just old.
Just saying that our focus is a little, I don't know, out of sync or out of whack right now.
No, 100%.
Did you incorporate? I mean, are you mentioning that a lot? Do you incorporate it into your projects?
I speak on not Flint specifically, but just the adversities we faced and the focus of society and how it's like messed up right now, and how we're promoting these messages that we shouldn't, and how we're supporting people. By supporting their music, you're supporting them. So it's like all this type of stuff, I put it in my music, honestly, man. Like, I gotta try to speak, man. I gotta try to speak to the people,
Yeah. Definitely, man. Giving a voice to the voiceless, that's what's up.
Oh, without a doubt.
Alright, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Coffee Breaks with Bob Rock and Mel L. every Friday night, 6 to 8, featuring the homie T-Rex, the Beast. All right, you can catch us here at Que4.org. That is QUE, the number 4.org. You can also catch us on iTunes or the TuneIn app. Search Q4 Radio. We're going to go ahead and get into this music break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with our guest Hunnid, and then we'll talk about who we got coming up in the future. All right? Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coffee Breaks. Bob Rock, Mel L, T-Rex the Beast. Yep. Our guest for the night, Hunnid. So,
let's test the mic real quick.
Yo.
I got time to test these mics.
Yo. Can't hear him.
Can't hear him.
Speaker. Because he ain't saying nothing, yo.
Yo.
He is
Hello.
though.
Yeah, yo.
He's talking.
Yep, I'm talking. I'm saying a lot.
Gotcha,
1, 2, 3.
Gotcha.
4, 5, 6. 9, 10.
Gotcha. All right, sir. I need you to do something for me real quick, just to make sure, because I do want to make sure my co-host is being heard, which apparently he has not been most of the show. They decided to wait till we go on break to tell me, so I had no idea.
Actually, when we came off the break, technically.
And and the reason for that is honestly, like, these headphones over here aren't running off that same system. They were kind of loud, so I had to take them off. So I had no idea this whole show that we weren't hearing my guy. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have my guy Rock move over, just slide him over a little bit. You guys are gonna share that mic right there for me, and then we will work on these technical difficulties as we move through the show for the next week. But
it is Rule 8 of the House Rules to report any malfunction immediately. So we're doing that.
yeah, how you talking about immediately is not an hour into the show, partner. So anywho, we were talking a little bit off stage about the art of freestyling, right?
Yeah, we were.
And the definitions that people have about freestyling. So we were talking about possibly doing a cypher before we got out of here, and then of course my guest for the day was like, "Yo, when we talk about doing this freestyle, ain't nobody coming with no writtens or none of this stuff, right?"
None of that.
Because so I want to hear from you. What is your definition of a freestyle?
My definition of a freestyle is when you come to the table, come to a cipher, whatever it is, with no written material. You're not spitting any prior verse or anything like that. So strictly off the top during that moment. That's my definition of a freestyle. Not, I'm going to hop in with this, this 16 that I wrote last week and kill everybody with.
And I get that, and I can appreciate that that's where you are with it, But as I always say, like it would be wrong for me not to mention that, when you talk about those early days and going into the park, when they talked about freestyle was something that they had written or something that they, concocted a little bit, but then didn't have a necessary beat, so they're outside and they're in the cypher and they're just coming with whatever they had. So if you look back, like some of my favorite freestyles, came from cats who was just like, kicking their routines that they had out in the park. They weren't necessarily like part of a record or part of a hit joint and whatnot. So I do believe that in this day and age, you have those purists who are off the top freestylers that are just like, no, I want everything to be, something that's just coming off the top of your dome as a freestyle. You have some who are like in the battle rappers nowadays where they're like, all right, I know I'm going up against this guy. I got this much time to prepare, so I'm going to write these routines and then I'm going to do it without a beat, and that's going to be their freestyle. And that's going to be their battle rhymes and whatnot. So, when it comes up, I know cats who are good at doing both. And what they'll do is like they might take something that they've written just to kind of test the water, see how the people are feeling about it, and then we'll come straight off the top after that. Or I know guys who will be like, I wrote something, I'm not sure quite how I'm feeling or how it's going to hit, so I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to take it into the cipher, and that's going to be my freestyle. So it's one of those things to where I'm like, it's good to have those conversations. I'm not a purist snob like that to where I'm like, it's got to be off the top. But I do believe that when in certain areas, if you are expecting it to be one thing, like if you're trying to go toe to toe with somebody and you're expecting it to be just straight off the top and they're coming with some writtens, that's gonna make gonna have a little bit of a feel for you. Right. But at the same time, it's like, it is what it is. How you take it.
There's battling and there's freestyling.
Right.
And there's a slight difference between the two. But you've had it in the past where when somebody is obviously spitting something written, they look stupid when they're battling against you because you can sort of use that.
Yeah.
Like they, because it's like they're scared of you. They're so scared of you that they won't come at you with nothing. They'll come at you with something that they've obviously written. You can always tell in how you say something.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're thinking it, as opposed to when you're already memorized it and you know every word you're gonna say. And I'm not saying you're right. There's nothing to take away from that.
Right.
Sometimes it's great to see Black Thought, spit one of his most famous verses. But he's also one of the greatest freestylers ever. So either or, you're going to be pretty happy with what you see. And then there's other people. I'm watching, 5 Fingers to Death, and the younger guys these days, they can't even spit their own writtens.
Nope. True. They pulling out.
Like not because they're not freestyle. They can't spit the things that they write, and that to me is like, I think one thing that I like about hip hop is that it's good at regulating itself and regulating the quality of the status quo. And I think that freestyling is an aspect of that art form that is a regulatory practice where like it reveals what skill level truly exists amongst the people that are approaching it. And I'm not saying that you can't make hip hop without being a good freestyler, without being a good battler. But I'm saying that like, if you're a fighter, if you're an MMA fighter, you need to be able to wrestle. You need to be able to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You need to be able to kick, punch, dodge.
And you also need to not let people gas you up and thinking you're cuter than what you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Ronda Rousey.
Oh, you're so ignorant. Oh,
I'm sorry.
You had to go there. You had to go there.
I'm not saying
every time.
Listen, man. You know what? I say this because apparently somebody was telling me about how she just gets an interview coming about her last couple of fights. And I remember I got into a lot of trouble for saying that early on when somebody asked me like, "Yo, what happened to Ronda Rousey during that last fight when she got stomped out?" And I simply said, in my opinion, that some people gassed her up into thinking that she's cute, and she no longer had that fight in her. And when she lost that fight that was in her, she lost the fight.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that's not me saying that she's a bad looking person. Like, I mean, she's for who she's for. Like, that is what it is. I'm not saying that she's not. I'm not trying to say that she's just like, like I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is she lets the people get into her head because in between those fights, when she won and then when she got like dismantled, she had done all this modeling stuff. She had done all this. You got people that are trying to tell her that she's one of the most attractive people in the world.
Oh, she's popping up in movies.
She's doing all this.
Yeah.
She no longer had that fight in her. She was no longer the aggressor that she used to be because she let these people gas her up into thinking that this is what
And by the way, while you're embracing that vanity, there's always somebody in the shadows that's
still
training
hungry,
3 times as hard to come for you.
Always.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anywho, we got to get up out of here shortly, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to toss on these tracks, and I'm going to just let y'all do what y'all do, and then we're going to come back. We're going to kill out the rest of the show. Don't forget to vote for the A3C. You can find the link on, just type in A3C. You can find it there if you check out Hunnid on Instagram, which is Hunnid HUNNID_CCG.
Yep.
Catch him there, and the link is also there on the Instagram page, so go ahead and make sure you check that out.
We've also went ahead and posted a bunch of links to your official site, to your Spotify, and to your SoundCloud page. The whole point of having this platform is to encourage people to listen to the artists that we feature. Thank you so much for coming on.